And so we get this documentary from the BBC, which is funny because they talk like they talk, you know. Here we are, and, you know. So we're watching this documentary, and they're in the Amazon, right? Because that's right. We're like, hey, let's go to the Amazon, you know. We watched the documentary, and they were showing these parrots, right? The parrots is like this strange thing the parrots are doing now, where they're diving down and traveling great distances to these. They call them mud pits. To these mud pits where there's predators and things that the birds would never encounter and things that would never get near each other come to gather to eat this mud, and no one knows why, and then they fly away or wander away, and they all bother each other. It sounds like Eden. All the animals come. It's like a cheetah's looking over at the monkey being like, gotcha, and sees him play. And so it's like everybody's happy, and I'm sure a lion pounces on something here and there. Actually, they're not lions, they're Amazon. Anyway, so but they all go and they consume this, and then finally, briefly, I mean, like that, they mentioned it may have something to do with the environment. The environment's a big deal, right? I mean, that's the big thing right now is environmentalism, right? But it's really not. It's kind of like a political thing, because if they cared about the environment, they'd be cared about this stuff, and they don't. A few people do, thank goodness. But they say that these creatures are going out possibly because of man's impact on the environment, perhaps from toxicity. Deborah and I looked at each other and said, oh my goodness, let's research. So we find out that's not mud pits, it's clay. It's bentonite clay fields where they're going and they're eating the clay. The parrots are smarter than we are. They're eating the clay because all these pesticides that are coming down in South America that they're using, they're smart enough to be able to detox it. What about berberine? You guys know about berberine? It's the active ingredient in a lot of plants. Yellow dock root, golden seal, yellow root, which is, that's if you're in Alabama, you're in yellow root territory. Darrell Patton, Tommy Bass, yellow root. I mean, that's what we do, yellow root. But berberine's a potent modulator of health. It's very, very powerful. As a matter of fact, I'll get to that. Berberine is used for diabetes, glucose issues, gastrointestinal problems. It actually kills H. pylori, or allows your body to kill H. pylori, anti-ulcer, anti-arthritic, anti-inflammatory, but also berberine cleanses. And it's one of the reasons that golden seal is such a good cleanser. Now, golden seal also has hydrostein, which makes it really potent. Actually, to me, too potent most of the time. But berberine is really kind of mild, and it works really well. They don't have a lot of acute toxicity information because it just is so safe at so many levels. But what's really weird is that berberine has been tested in the agricultural industry more than it's been tested in the health. You know what it's been tested for? That's a pesticide, an herbicide. Yeah, and in something that cleanses pesticides and herbicides from your body and has clinical evidence of doing such, also happens to be in and of itself a pesticide and herbicide. I don't know why. I'm sorry, I don't know the answer to that one, but it's kind of amazing and strange, isn't it? Sounds like homeopathic. What about manganese? Glyphosate, manganese, neurological diseases, and associated pathologies. Come to find out, glyphosate wipes out your manganese. So guess what we need? Manganese. Guess what anyone who comes to us who has inner ear trouble has gotten for the past 20 years? Manganese. Any tinnitus, vertigo, all those things. And you know how I knew to give them manganese? The Lord. I don't know. It just worked. It works every time. And so we know now why. Because it replaces the manganese that is depleted in the body. And manganese does have a role in the inner ear health, but we never knew why until now. So there's some things that also, now we talked about glycine, right? Now if glyphosate is hijacking your glycine, what do you need to probably supplement more of? Your actual real glycine, especially as you're detoxifying glyphosate. So milk thistle seed, dandelion root, burdock root. Now, we all know. I mean, milk thistle seed is an active component of silymarin. It's a potent liver cleanser. In Europe, if they prescribe you a hepatotoxic drug, they're going to end up giving you a prescription for silymarin because they love their people. No, I'm just kidding. They're smart enough to do so. I mean, it's neat that in the EU, and actually a lot of our information that we have on herbs and botanicals today is due to the Germans and due to Europeans because of the German E-Commission that they developed. Now they've lost their minds since then, and so forth, as you can imagine. But and also we mentioned, of course, probiotics. So these are vital. Now you can actually get tested for glyphosate. It'll cost you about $125, $125. They run sales. We offer this testing at St. John's Nutrition, and I'm about to show you my test, and it's pretty impressive. So Great Plains will test your glyphosate. They also test your water supply. They'll test your well water. They'll test your neighbor's well water. If you want to swap some, they'll test the glyphosate levels of anything, and they're very dead on accurate. All right, this is me. I was a 1.1, and that's not good. You should have 0.38 or less. You should have, if you have 0.38, then actually it's supposed to be in there. You're not supposed to have any glyphosate in your system. We weren't born with glyphosate. Glyphosate's not an ingredient that's supposed to be in us. This is me. When was it?
Zoom out. All the way.
August the 10th of this year, right? So I started taking our EDS, our environmental defense, this is the formulation that we've developed for this and been working and slaving over. And y'all, it was crazy. I really rely on the Lord, and I know y'all might not be of faith, and that's fine. As long as you're agnostic, we can talk. If you're atheist, we can still talk. But when we put things together, it just comes to me, right? Well, sometimes I'm stubborn, and I really wanted this. I felt like this should be a liquid formula. I was thinking about, anybody heard of Sunny 7? It's Sunny 7 detoxification. It's basically just liquid bentonite clay. And I loved how they were able to get it, but it still settles. But I wanted something like that. I thought that would be the way to go. And then I realized after the first time that we took a swig, Deborah, she's making tea, she's making compounds, and we're blending, and we're doing all the things. We make yellow root. We find out that, by the way, that coffee makes yellow root inert. If you drink one shot of yellow root and you take a sip of coffee, the yellow root's gone immediately. It completely takes over the taste. It's a neat trick for people who can't stand yellow root. You can also pour yellow root into coffee, and it'll pretty much just taste like coffee. Bitter coffee, but not that bad. It completely overrides it because of the tannins, the powerful tannins. But we were working on this formula, and finally, we made a few bottles of it, and we took a swig, and and Deborah was like, "Oh no!" I look. You almost couldn't get the black off your teeth. Okay, so then we put the bottles outside, not thinking about it, and all of a sudden you hear boom. Well, you really shouldn't mix fulvic acid and bentonite clay together either in a suspension that's liquid. So long story short, we reformulated. Yeah, we reformulated. Yeah, that might be a good thing for some other ideas, but you need to blow up a beaver dam or something. But yeah, we redeveloped. It was a no-brainer. It was amazing. This is the best formula I've ever seen in my life. The best one I've ever done, maybe other than P77, which is our antiviral. It's been incredible. So here's my glyphosate level that we just got in on September the 23rd. Whoa. Go ahead.
Just go back a slide if you can.
Okay. Look at me. I'm glyphosate free.
Wow.
In 1 month. 1 month, I got rid of every bit of glyphosate in my system, and y'all, I feel amazing. I felt so good, we ran to the Amazon. I'm serious. I don't know if I could have made it before that. I was already having I won't get into all that. I was just having some issues that I was getting a little bit, like when the 47-year-old issues that he doesn't talk to his family about, that he doesn't need to procrastinate about getting EKGs and such. I was starting to get over in that direction, and got glyphosate out of my system. Went on a trip to the Amazon, sweated, lost about 5 pounds of who knows what after doing some ayahuasca. We'll talk about that some other time. And here we are today. It's life has changed. I feel better today at 47 years old than I ever did in my 20s. Matter of fact, I was sick as a dog in my 20s because I was full of glyphosate. I literally was born when it was made. 74 it was made. That way it was, at least out for a year so that I could have some. And then my entire life, it's just increased and increased and increased, and here I am today. How much longer do I have?
Like 35 minutes.
Awesome. Would you already hear about the pineal gland or T. gondii? Yes. Okay, I figured the pineal gland. T. gondii will just creep y'all out, but y'all really should. We should talk about that pretty soon here. I did it in Michigan, and people were like, Prime. T. Gandhi. Who knows what T. Gandhi is? This is not this. I'm just kind of talking. T. Gandhi. What if I told you that 60% of the world had a brain parasite, or at least the cyst of a brain parasite, that was actually controlling their thought and action to some degree? Yeah. It's part of why the world's so sick. I might can get to it if I blow through this. I don't think I can blow through this. I'll probably start crying. Are we on it? No, we're on it. I need to go back again. Yeah.
Can you go back to the first slide?
But it says that's the first one.
Okay.
If anyone ever questioned my wife's role in my life, you can clearly see it right now. There it is.
You didn't delete something, did you?
What's going on?
I don't know.
Close it out.
Hang on.
Cool. We're on that slide. We're on like a different slide than it's showing. Yeah, we're not there. Up there, look at that.
Well, click on that. Let's see.
Go to resume slide. Right there it says slideshow. Put that menu down. No. You know where the file is? Let me just-
No, not really.
oh, because we're on this one probably. We're still on Why is the World So Sick?
Can you close it out?